So much for joining us on our info sessions. This is our second round. We've just finished last week the end of the first 4 series, and it was very, very well received. So hopefully you come out just as well informed and have some sort of empowerment from these in sessions to make a healthy lifestyle a little bit easier and clearer for you. That's our focus. Leanne has had over 20 years, I think between the two of us, there's probably about over 50 years together. I'm about 25 years. Leanne's just nearly 20, you'd be over 24 years in the industry. We've been around a lot. We've been to a lot of developmental growth within the industry and to keep up. Leanne now runs her own business as well. She has a book that is for sale for you tonight for only $10 each book. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot. Do not be afraid to speak out for any questions or anything you'd like to, for us to go a little bit further. You'll see us tag team a bit throughout the sessions. But for those of you that don't know me, my name's Nikki. I've been at Endeavour Hills Leisure Centre for those 25 years. I'm Program Director here, but I'm also, as you probably know, group fitness instructor and personal trainer. Leanne's been Program Director as well here and personal trainer, and as I said, she's got her own business. So we've got a lot of knowledge to share with you in the next 4 weeks. So I hope I know you will get something out of it, something to go home with and get you back on course to what you want to achieve out of your health and fitness. Leanne.
Thank you. So welcome, and as I said, I'm hoping that you all get something out of it, whatever that is, because they're all at different stages within our health and fitness journey. And basically from there, decided I need to help more people. How am I going to do that? And decided to bring my business online. So I specialise and run 13-week online fitness programs where I basically help via email, Skype, and whatever else needs to be via the technology we have today to be able to help you to achieve your health and fitness goals. And I've just put a book out as well. So I've spent some time, I'm actually qualified in the US as well, fitness goals there. I spent a few years in the States, and that's still current too. And also spent a bit of time, actually got I guess one of my best moments was being asked to go to the World Alzheimer's Conference in Singapore a few years ago, and actually ran a class out in their outdoor stadium, if you know Singapore, for 5,000 people. So that was pretty full on. But very rewarding for me, especially when I had all these people rocking up on buses, coming in to do some exercise, and to watch what I was doing to get moving for the day. Everyone always asks me, well, World Alzheimer's, did anyone actually remember anything else you said or did? And I think they did, so that's a good thing. Especially when there was a guy in a Batman suit, which I found out later was like nearly 70 years old in this Batman suit for the actual day, so that was interesting. I also write articles. I've been in the Age and Women's Health and Fitness just this month as well, so there's been a few different articles that I like to help and write, so that's a bit of my background. But anyway, enough about us. Does anyone not know this centre here at all? Who doesn't know Endeavour Hills? Yep. Sharon, have you been here? Yeah. So if you want, we can give you an idea and show you around. I'll make sure you know the toilets are out and around the back around here, or just down here actually as you walked in, so that you know where everything's at. Alright, so we're here. Who came because they're tired of feeling blah? Anybody? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we've got everyone in the right room doing the right thing. That's fantastic. So let's have a little chat around that and have a little look. I mean, there's a bit of a spiel. First of all, on the front page, welcome to the centre. Important that you know that this centre, not only at the other YMCAs, but we have health club here, we have personal trainers, other facilities, we run a fitness camp. That's coming up next week. So is anyone doing that? Who's doing fitness camp? Okay, so there's some
potentials.
Yes, potentials. Yes, potentials. Now, so you know, we're running for 4 weeks. These are the times. We're talking about goal setting, general information tonight. Now, the third week, instead of it being on Monday, because it is the long weekend, Queen's birthday, this centre shuts at 4 o'clock on a public holiday, so of course we can't be here. So just so that you know that that particular night on June will be after, it'll be on the Tuesday night rather than the Monday, just to make sure to put these dates in your diary, that that's a different one for this round of sessions. Okay? Now, flicking along, you can read a bit more about me, but as we head into our session tonight, talking about goal setting and also, I guess, why you're feeling blah and what we're going to do about that. The second week, we're going to be talking about nutrition and what sort of ideas, where are we at right now, what foods are we eating, how can we make subtle changes to potentially to help you feel better about yourself. And food obviously plays a big part around that. Our next session, week 3, is exercise. Is everyone exercising, doing some exercise here? Is anyone not exercising? So we've got everyone on the good road already, that's great. Okay, so we'll fine tune about what that looks like, and maybe if we're not fitting in enough, how we're going to do that, and some strategies around what is good, some cardio side of things, some strength, what is the thing to do. And then the last one is our big week, the fun week. Mindset, where we actually talk around it's all right to have a great exercise and food going, but if we don't have the good mindset happening, well, we could fail badly because we haven't got the right mindset around it. I've just come back from last month, the fitness conference up in Sydney, and basically they're saying if you're a personal trainer, if you're only teaching clients how to eat and exercise, then, and you're not talking anything about the mind, then they're not going to really succeed. So mindset's huge, would you agree? Yes. Okay. So on the last week we get into your minds a little bit. Okay, I know you're all excited around that.
It's not pretty.
Well, it depends whose mind you're talking about. So. Alright, so have everyone got a pen? We all right to go here? I'll get you a pen. Have you got one? Maybe somewhere. Okay. So if we have a look, first things first, why are you here? Why are you here? Is my question to you. Because my aim and our aim is over the next 4 weeks, what can we give you the most value? What are you wanting to know based around those topics? So if I can ask you 4 to 6 things, there's on page 4 we should be on. Why are you here? Why are you here? Write down 4 to 6 things. I'm going to get you to think. We're not just here to talk the whole time as well, but we want to know. I know that. But it's okay to listen to me and Nikki, but in 4 weeks' time you walk out and go, well, that was nice. But wouldn't it be good if you could take some action around why you're even here in the first place? The idea of these sessions is to give value to you guys. And, the group we had before could be entirely different.
It will be interesting.
Yes.
I'll sign up.
Okay. Was that easy?
Adrian.
Now, next question to think about, if you could change 1 or 2 things in relation to your fitness and health over this course of the next 4 weeks that we're catching up, what would that be? You might have 1 thing, 2 things, 5 things, something realistic. Please don't write 20 kilo loss.
In 2 weeks.
I did have someone who were getting married in 5 weeks and wanted to lose 10 kilos. Could I help?
Cut off the leg.
Yeah, I did say amputation was handy. Rapid weight loss.
50-second abs.
Now, while you're still writing these things, I'm going to get you all to come up. I'm not going to say anything, but I want you to write up couple of things that you might have written. Might be need more motivation, need extra help with food or something specific. And actually write down, we've got 2 sheets here, just in a few words, what the sort of things you wrote that you want to get out of these next 4 weeks. Because what I do from tonight is over the next nutrition, exercise, mindset, and even the goal stuff tonight, look at it and say, well, what do you guys want the most knowledge on? And I'll make sure they're in the notes. Okay, so we find out. So let's go. No, we don't punish anybody. We normally do push-ups rather than chants, but I'm being nice tonight actually. So let's go. Can everyone write English? Ready now? We're missing a texter. No, I'm holding the green one. Okay. All right. Oh. Did you go? Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So if we get through all of that, we'll all be happy. Is that good? I'll tell you now that healthy choices are that's food. Is that yeah? I'm just clarifying. Okay, so food. I mean, I know that seems obvious, but okay, motivation. A lot of you have ticked that. Is that motivation for food or exercise or both? The whole thing. Both. Okay.
We want some check up.
Okay. Establish a routine. What do we mean by that?
That was me.
Okay.
In terms of probably getting up to the gym and
Okay. Exercise, making time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Making part of it.
Making time. Do you want to have extra time
Study some.
than what you already have? Is that what you were saying?
Another hour a day.
Yeah, I need more time.
No, you want to have extra time?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Time. We want to have more of that. Healthy eating, that's fairly obvious. Okay, de-stressing, we've got a few there. We'll definitely cover, there's some info on that in the last week. We do mindset, and I've got some notes around stress, tips around that. So that would be that. What is working? What's that say?
With respect to.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Oh, that's special. Okay. That's why I clarify. I go home and go, what? Okay, excellent. Yeah, we can cover that. Frequency of exercise, yes. Food myths. Can I ask what that looks like?
Like, you hear about yogurt, and yogurt is, a health food, but some are better than others.
Yeah.
What to look for? Is it too high in sugar or
Yeah,
that
right.
sort of thing?
Okay, so either yogurt.
Muesli bars, the same thing.
Yeah. So the normal staple things that you potentially there's 10 different muesli bars and how many different types of yogurts are there, etc. Okay. Yeah. All right, why big plateau? Okay, that's always a good one. Yeah, we'll cover that. Better choices. Okay, yeah, that will cover. Study related. What does that mean?
We're doing health and human development, and it's all based around nutrition and
Okay.
fitness and stuff. This my stuff. So.
Okay. So what do you want to know about that?
Nutrition.
Okay. So you're going to be here next week.
You have to give yourself
Second week, like next week's nutrition. So that would be good to get that, if that's what you're talking about. Is that so? Is it nutrition? Do you want to be something to do with nutrition later on? Or is it just part of what you're doing for school? Okay. Stay motivated. Okay. Sabotage. Yes, we cover that. Stay on track. Okay. So that's really motivation. Is that what we're saying too with that? Okay. Lifestyle change. Who wants to change their life?
I want to be rich.
How to make money and probably won't cover that. I mean, I will tell you that if you have more energy, you have more time, you feel you can do more things, which in turn gives you the motivation around not only exercise but to do good things for yourself, and that includes making money. I mean, I can tell you, making money online with the fitness business is a great way to go because I can train anybody no matter where they are. So but that's another whole talk again, right? Do something you're passionate on to make money. That's the trick there. But specifically, what do we mean by lifestyle change?
I put that down, just a diet,
Yeah,
just carrying it
right.
through.
Okay, so we're here. We're not talking about diets anymore. I hate that word. And it's about food plans. Okay, and good food and exercise, and basically a regime that you can continue for the rest of your life. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, all right, that's good. I clarify. Feel good and healthy. Well, that's why we're here. We don't want to feel blah, right? So we'll cover that. Sustain. So again, we're talking about maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Similar thing again. Yes. Learn mindset on what I eat. Okay, so again, on the last session, we'll be covering all the mindset side of things. As you can imagine, it's a big one. Okay, our brain has come from a long way from being a little child to what happened in our childhood to where we're at today, no matter where you are in your life. And there's a lot of journeys that we've all gone through. Okay, so changing and trying to work on your mind is a big thing. But I'll give you some strategies around that in the last week to help. Okay, learn good habits in relation to
Nutrition.
okay, so food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better choices.
Better choices, okay, someone said that as well. Mindset and keep the weight off, okay, so maintenance, okay, and that's really what we want to achieve, don't we? As part of the lifestyle, we want to not only get to a point where we're happy, because we all get this thing, and I think women are especially, sorry guys in the room, but we get to a point where we always continually want to lose, but what about being happy with the weight we're at and actually maintaining that? Because the older we get, it gets harder to maintain. So that's got to become a critical part of your life too for moving forward, I would say. Eradicate bad diet habits. What would the bad diet habits be? Pizza. Well, you can have the good and bad on a pizza. Who else? What else is a bad diet habit that we need to cover?
How much pizza?
What's that?
How much pizza?
How much? Right. Portion.
Portion.
We'll cover that.
Even something like skipping breakfast.
Right. Breakfast. Is everyone eating breakfast? Right. But not everyone is, obviously. Breakfast. What other bad habits diet? It's not going to use that word, but it's a bad. What else is there that you want me to cover?
Alcohol.
Water consumption of sweets, for example.
Yeah. As in, how much is too much?
And when.
When to stop? So, yeah.
There's sometimes
Consumption. And alcohol?
alcohol.
The hidden calorie, the hidden calories in that lovely word of alcohol. Okay. So sugar consumption.
Yeah.
How much? Sugar. I'll say a little bit. Anything else that regarding that while we're on there? No. Okay. Controlling my emotions. Who's angry and sad and all sorts of things.
Emotional eaters.
Yeah. Yeah. Boredom. Yeah. Okay. And we'll cover that too. Definitely.
I was saying in the last
stress
sessions
often.
we did that it was amazing how many people asked, what sort of comfort foods do you go for when you're emotionally eating? And a lot of it stems from your childhood, where mum or dad would offer you a bag of chips to make you feel, but you see them at the shops.
Eat all your veggies.
What do you think those kids are going to grow up as adults? They're going to go for the chips and stuff because without thinking, they just see that that's comfort. That's like mum giving me a hug. So going back into behavioural change, it's a lot of work, but it can be done. It can be done. You can change the pathways.
Yeah. Cool. They're excited about that, right?
Yeah, look at them.
Have more energy? One person, or does everyone thinking that they need more energy?
Yeah.
How to drink more water, Sharon? Cool. I'll have a tip for that. That's cool, but you'll find out next week with your nutrition.
I just can't drink it.
You can't drink it? Do you hate water, or you just don't like drinking a lot of it?
I don't know, it's just one of those things that just don't.
Don't get thirsty.
Yes.
No,
And
I think a lot of the times that's why at the end of the day I binge because I'm not actually hungry, I'm thirsty.
Yeah,
Thirsty,
right.
you're dehydrated.
So, and especially this time of year, we tend to get very slack very quickly because we had a hot summer. Now we're into, it's cold, and we don't really realise we're actually thirsty until we're actually too late and we're already dehydrated. So, anything else that you might have thought of while we're chatting that you want me to add? Or we're all good? Okay. All right. Cool. Easy. Excellent. Thank you for sharing all that. So then now I know what you're after. So the other things that we'll go through tonight as well is just there's some information in your books there. Present eating and exercise habits. Your measurement sheet, we'll go through them in a minute, but your food and exercise, what you're actually eating right now. So you can even you can do some of these sheets between now and next week if you would like to, just to have a look and say, oh, okay, maybe I'm eating the wrong things, or just by noting and recording certain things, you can start to see some patterns as to what's happening in your life right now. Okay, and it's quite easily done. What's happening in Endeavour Hills? Well, we'll talk a bit about that. Is there anything else you wanted to share about challenge and things coming up before we get into the rest of everything?
At the moment, it's mainly Challenge Fitness Camp coming up, and we're already pretty. You can still get on board the Body Fit Challenge. You still got time to finish off. You get a little passport, and you have to mark off. You've got certain activities you've got to do, and you've still got time to get that done as well if you want to. All the details at customer service. And if anyone's interested, when we go into exercise, we'll go through about intensity and all, and what's needed for fat loss and etc. etc. But if anyone's interested, come and see me at any time in the next 4 weeks, and I'm happy to give you a free pass to GRIT, which is a group personal training session, high interval intensity training, half an hour to blast you out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
It's similar to ARC have Intense over there, but they don't have the actual GRIT program. It's a Les Mills program. So you'll do some burpees and all sorts of good things in it. So it'll challenge your fitness to the next level. So he's going to give that a go for nothing. Easy. All right, let's get into goal setting. Because if you haven't got any goals, then what are you working towards in your life? I mean, I like to think that you have goals set around, I mean, we're going to talk obviously predominantly health and fitness, but if you should be setting goals in your life, ultimately short, medium and long-term goals of where you want to be, whether it's short, long, medium, or further down the track, for whatever that means. It's all right to write healthy lifestyle, but we need to break it down, and how do we do that? Now, most of you have seen, I'm sure most of you heard about the SMART goals. Would that be correct? Where we actually break the word SMART down. Does anyone not know what I'm talking about? Okay, that's all right if you don't. Okay, so SMART, we break our goals down to the word SMART, and it's an acronym for specific. So you actually go, okay, our goals are whatever, something specific. So rather than saying, well, I just want to be fit, we want to be more specific and say, well, how are we going to do that? And you're breaking it down. That's what being specific is, okay? Measurable. So it has got to be something measurable. So if I said to you, okay, we want to be fit and by a certain time, or you want to run a race or a marathon, then we would potentially say, okay, how are we going to do that? You need to break that down again. Your long-term goal might be running a particular race, and then you break it down again into shorter, smaller components. Hello, folks.
Yes, sir.
So, and then the next thing, is it attainable? You need to ask yourself, are they actually something you can achieve? You know, if you're not built, or if you have fairly injury ridden, is it really realistic that you can run a marathon in 3 months' time? We have grand plans of what we want to achieve, but is that being a realistic goal? Is it attainable? Is it something that we can do? And realistic is the next word with the letter R. And timely, meaning instead of the person who rings me up and says, oh, I want to lose, at least 10 kilos in the next 5 weeks because I'm getting married. Is that a timely, is that a possible goal, do you think? So it's all about breaking our goals down into those different components so they are achievable. That's fine. So, and the one thing I wanted to share with you, who's actually set goals? Has anyone set goals for their fitness and health? Great, excellent, fantastic, good. Are you looking and changing them and making them variable as they go along? Because they obviously can and need to be changed accordingly sometimes. But when you set goals, the one thing I want you to think about is, and I did a fantastic session, this guy, his name is Sebastian Terry, he's only a young guy. He doesn't believe in bucket lists, which is what we do before we die, which we'd rather do our goals preferably well before we die, is the plan. But this guy has a website, and it's worth looking at, called 100things.com.au, and he had wrote down, and I challenge you as well in your spare time, to write down 100 things that you would like to achieve in even your lifetime. 100 things. So rather than calling it a bucket list, we actually say, what are 100 things that you might want to achieve? Do you think you would be able to write it? Has anyone tried to do it? I challenge you to try it and see if you can come up and see what actually comes to mind. And do it in a time where you haven't got interruptions around you, but spend, it might take you a few hours or an afternoon or even a week to go, oh, that's something I wouldn't mind doing. Whether it's health or fitness related or not, I challenge you to try and write down as many as you can. Now this guy, this is to give you an example of how, you look at him and say he's a little crazy, but he's Australian, he went through uni, and you know how when you go to school and uni and then they say, okay, what do you want to do now? The careers guy said, oh, go to uni, go do a course. Okay, now he went and did a course. He only went there because the careers counsellor told him to go. He had no clue, and I think it applies to a lot of kids these days, maybe not clear direction on where they want to go. He did a course and came out of it and still didn't know what he wanted to do, potentially. So then he did the usual thing and travelled around the world, did a bit of backpacking and ended up in Canada, and then got a phone call out of the blue from a good family friend of his to find out that one of his best mates from school back here in Australia had died suddenly, and he couldn't make the funeral because he was backpacking, had no money from Canada to come back to Australia. That's obviously a bit of an extreme thing, and he thought, you know what, I need to do something about that. So he decided that why wait, because when someone young or whatever passes away, it's scary for you to think, oh my goodness, well what if I haven't done the things I would like to do in my life? So he wrote down 100 things. One of them was to deliver a baby, right? So if you go on this website, you can write your 100 things on there if you want to share. And he ended up getting the money to go over to America, and the lady who was supposed to have a baby, that was all teed up, he didn't know her, mind you. This is an idea of what he did, which is, I want you to think outside the square here, all right? That lady ended up, unfortunately, in an emergency cesarean, and the husband, obviously, there was no time to call him, and was straight at the hospital, the baby luckily was all right. So he was stuck without a baby to deliver, and he got on the media, on the news. Did you hear about this? So he ended up, another lady and a couple were about to have a baby within the week. They invited him round for a barbecue, and the next day, within 2 days of that barbecue, he was helping to deliver this baby, which is absolutely amazing. He's not married or anything, this guy, all right? And the other thing to think a little bit further, he wanted to get on the red carpet at Cannes Film Festival. How do you do that, you think? Well, he had no ticket, no nothing, right? He's back behind all the barriers, as you would do, but he's dressed in a tuxedo, because I thought if he's going to get on there, he's got to look the part. He had no ticket or anything, and there's all these people, and the security were there, all the people, and people are filtering in. He actually, for 1 second, the security guard had looked away at where he was. He went under there and just started walking through the carpet and pretending he was on a microphone, on his thing here. And then one of the guys said, hey, what are you doing? He goes, oh, does your microphone work? I'm having a bit of trouble. I'll go check. And he goes, yeah, no worries. And he was on the red carpet for half an hour. All right? So all I'm saying to you, that's his list. That's his story. But what is your list? And I guess I'm asking you to think about dreaming big. We set our goals, live healthier and all this, but go a step further. Who wants to climb Nepal? Who wants to go trekking in the Himalayas? Anybody?
I want to go to Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. You need some fitness for that, don't you? Who else wants to do something out there? Anyone want to share? No. That's all right. If I don't, if you do, you do, and if you don't, it doesn't matter. But all I'm saying is, look at the whole world as a place. Look at what you can achieve. This guy has no money. right? But if on this website, you can actually go on there and list some of your own things, and you know what happens? People look on that site and actually say, oh, I can help that person achieve that goal, whatever it may be, if you're willing to share what it's, you know, some of them are, and that other people have helped other people. You know, he helped a guy in a wheelchair with no legs to run a marathon, so he pushed him the whole way. You know, that's huge. So all I'm saying to you is dream big on your goals, and then have a look at them and say, well, yeah, I really, really want to do this.
It's like you've probably heard the man who ran 52 marathons in 52 weeks. He ran a marathon a week, went all over the world doing it. He didn't plan on running a marathon to start off with. He was a motivational speaker at the YMCA only a couple of months ago. And he's just a down-to-earth Aussie guy. He worked for Google. And he became very work-orientated, no life-work balance. Had a wife, she'd had enough. Marriage broke down. He lost interest. He hardly turned up to work. He was drinking. And his friend just said to him, you've got to make a choice now. You've got to make the choice now. And he started to get this guy running. He couldn't even run a kilometre. And then all of a sudden this guy's friendship just kept saying, okay, we're going to run a little bit more. And running the marathons that he did was not about running a marathon. It was about his whole change of life experience. And what he learned and gained from other people on that journey is phenomenal. And he's got a book out as well, and it's worth a read because it's not about the run and the fitness and all that. It was about a life-changing experience where he got to the light. He was being treated for depression, everything. Everything caved in, his whole life caved in. And it just took one life decision, I'm going to run with my friend. And then he got into a marathon running and he goes, I don't need all this materialistic stuff anymore. He sold up his Brighton home, penthouse, sold everything up to pay, to fund his journey around the world to do 52 marathons in 52 weeks. And he did it. But you don't have to go to such extreme, but we understood that sense of achievement, that you've actually made a difference to your life, but you've actually made a difference to other people around him, his own family and friends, to see him grow like that. Yeah.
Well, look at that Nick Vujovic guy with no arms or legs. Like, he's married now and has a baby, and he actually was holding it, or not holding it, but he had the nice little harness thing around, so he has his baby close. Now, who would even think that you could be able to do that? You know, just all we're saying is think outside the square on what you can achieve and what you'd love to do in your life, okay? So if you do nothing else tonight but write down 100 things, that would be cool. And if you've got, I'd love to hear back next week if you've thought of something, and it may not be anything you've thought of now, but in a week's time, it might say, yeah, I'd love to do that. So, you know, and the question is, you know, and the big thing, you know, we as adults lose our ability to dream. We get so centered on our work, our family, and everything involving around it without taking a step back into our own lives and say, well, you know, the kids are going to grow up eventually, of course, but along the way, what can you be doing? You know, what do you want to do? What are you missing out on that you could potentially be doing right now? You know, it could be as simple as learning guitar or just playing high jump or going rock climbing or something crazy that you've never done before but you'd really like to give it a go.
Leanne and I went to Filex, which is a fitness convention in Sydney, together. There was a keynote speaker there, and his whole thing was, when do we stop being 4-year-olds? Have you ever noticed a 4-year-old get up in the morning? They spring out of bed and they go, bring it on. When do we stop doing that? And why?
Yeah. And that's what we'll cover the more energy bit, so that'll help with that, okay? So, you know, and the other questions, you know, your dream list, you create them, you write them down. Is it really your goal? You know, you're putting that goal, you know, if you have a husband or partner, wife, whatever it is, fantastic, you can work on some goals together. But what is your goal? What is it that you want to do and be? Okay? The questions I want you to ask, you know, is it consistent with all the other goals that you have? You know, can you actually emotionally commit to it? Like to run a marathon once a week, you've got to be fairly switched on up here, and obviously exercise-wise you have some already good fitness, but if you don't have the mindset to do that, do you think you'd be able to achieve it? It's tough. So, and if you have to be able to say, yes, I can see myself achieving it, well then that will give you, I think, the criteria to say, yes, let's put that down, let's see what we can do and break it down from there. So, other things I've listed, 7 questions to ask when you're writing these things down as well. Will the goal make me happier? You know, it's got to be something that's going to make you happy, you know. Will it make you healthier? Make you more prosperous? Again, someone's asking about getting rich, so that could be helpful. Will it give me more friends? Give me peace of mind? Will I feel more secure? And will I improve my relationships with others? Because when you achieve goals, it is a journey, as Nikki said. Even as you break them down, you often need other people in your goals along the way. Like if you're heading into doing some classes here, there's nothing better than having the support of other people around you who are on a similar goal and wanting to be fit and healthy as well, and therefore you have a fun time. So your support of others is a big thing throughout our goals. Okay, so on page 7 I've actually listed I've got a goal sheet there. Alright, so it would be great for you to write them down. If you haven't looked at your goals for a long time, I would suggest that you do have a look at them and see if they've changed and make some changes accordingly to be able to really fine-tune what it looks like. Short term, the next few weeks. So really, in the next 4 weeks, we are seeing each other. So what goals, and we've written a couple of things down, you wrote at the start of what you'd like to achieve over the next 4 weeks. That would be something you could include in your short-term goal. Would someone like to share with me what they wrote down as a short-term goal in the next few weeks? Don't be scared. What's that? You don't have to fill it in, but you wrote it down at the start where we said, what would you like to achieve, 4 to 6 things in the next few weeks? Can you not think of something right now without writing it down?
I think it's changing the way you think.
Yeah?
It's fun. I think for me it's having a goal and carrying on. And then can we try to persevere, push it, because in my case I run my own business, and it's trying to add more things and trying to pursue that and getting there.
So you really have to structure your time. I mean, anyone with their own business, as we know, you're always juggling time. So making sure that your short-term goals are what you achieve. And I think, well, I'm certainly a bad habit of writing down, I want to get all this done today, and if I don't, then I'm really angry at myself. So I'm trying to get better with that, to say, right, let's take a breath around it. Short term, over the next few weeks, I know I can only achieve 1 or 2 things, and then if not, break it down even further so it becomes more of a medium-term goal. Because if they're not realistic, and it's great that Christabel shared that, but if they're not a realistic goal that you can achieve in a short amount of time, what happens when you don't achieve what you wrote? You're angry and you feel like a failure, you're disappointed, give up. And that's exactly right. So if we don't make them realistic, we will give up, and then what happens then? You throw them in the bin, or you just don't bother.